I was sitting here and I was thinking about my early sobriety, and I was remembering a guy that we used to affectionately call Big Ugly Mike. Now I know that sounds like a mean moniker, but look, he was big and he was ugly, and his name was Mike. I mean, you got to picture him. He was probably about 6'2", big shock of red hair, horribly pockmarked face, and a big toothless grin, brought on by years of methamphetamine abuse. I was always reminded, he always reminded me of, if you've ever seen the movie 13 Ghosts, the ghost Juggernaut. He looked exactly like Juggernaut to me. And we would go out for coffee, after meetings, groups of us, and he would tell us stories about, his use and being in a motel room, some seedy motel in the middle of the night, while his girlfriend, slammed heroin into his neck while he would down a fifth of Jack Daniels. I mean, this guy was hardcore, and it showed on his face. I mean, he must have been probably in his early 40s, but he didn't look a day over 64. You know what I mean? Like he had really done some damage in the years that he was out there abusing. Anyway, he came in probably and got sober probably 2 months before I did. So when I was taking my 30-day chip, he was taking his 90-day chip. And for those of you who don't know, there's a custom in AA that you'll take multiple chips for each mile marker, and your second and third chips that you might take, you give away to somebody with less time than you as kind of a good luck thing. Anyway, he gave me his 90-day chip, his second 90-day chip, which I was really touched by. And it wasn't too long after that he got a phone call while at a meeting from one of his old prison buddies who had just got paroled, and he was out the door. Relapsed. Boom. He went out to party with this buddy, and he was gone. And heard a little bit later that he was back on the street, homeless again, which is where he had come from before. And I had always said, if I had ever found him or seen him on the street, I would give him his chip back. Couldn't do that, though, because I heard a year or two later that they had found him dead, his body behind a dumpster in an alley behind a Vaughn's or something. He had overdosed on heroin and died alone in a back alley. And that was the end of Big Ugly Mike. Didn't need to be that way. It wasn't because he was weak. It was because the disease is strong. And every time I think about him, it's always followed by the thought, there, but for the grace of God, go I. R.I.P., Mike.